Richard Kast was indicted by a federal grand jury under the so-called Kingpin statute this spring, the 34-year-old South Minneapolis man stood to get up to life in prison if convicted of spearheading a major Minnesota drug ring. Now, a clean-shaven Kast will likely get no more than 10 years in prison under a plea bargain worked out with his attorney, Ron Meschbecher. Federal prosecutor Dan Shermer says this way Kast will spend jail time and that a conviction, much less a life sentence, was by no means certain with a jury trial.
We have the sure conviction rather than doing a tremendous amount of work and bringing in witnesses from various parts of the country.
Judge Diana Murphy questioned Kast heavily about his drug dealings, which began just after high school and spread from Minnesota to South America. The government says Kast supplied at least a dozen other Minnesota drug dealers, and his million-dollar cocaine business may not have been the biggest part of the profits.
He actually was a bigger amphetamine dealer, a bigger speed dealer than he was a cocaine dealer.
Under terms of the agreement, authorities will seize Kast's home in South Minneapolis, another one in Plymouth, and even an island in Aiken County, capping off a decade of investigation by federal drug enforcement agents and the IRS. While Judge Murphy could reject the negotiated 10-year sentence for Kast, that's thought unlikely, and sentencing could come within the next 30 days. In Minneapolis, Tom Garrison, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Richard Kast, a 34-year-old from South Minneapolis, was indicted under the federal Kingpin statute and faced a possible life sentence for running a major Minnesota drug ring. Prosecutors say his operation stretched from Minnesota to South America and involved at least a dozen other dealers, with methamphetamine bringing in even more money than cocaine. But instead of risking a jury trial, Kast took a plea deal that caps his sentence at around 10 years in prison. Federal prosecutors admitted a conviction or a life sentence wasn't guaranteed. As part of the deal, the government will seize multiple properties, including his South Minneapolis home, a house in Plymouth, and even a private island. The case wrapped up a decade-long investigation by federal drug agents and the IRS. Thank you for watching our Memories of the Past.